as they come. So for those who just came in here, we're gonna be talking about some of the new marketing tools available in listings to leads. Put for 2021, but I mean, some of them have been around for the last several months. It's just that they've maybe done some updates to them. But either way, we haven't talked about them, so we'll be going through them a little bit here. So what are the things that are new? We have the library. So that's gonna contain some images, all your images, and some PDFs, stuff like that. That'll be created. That'll already be in there for you to use, as well as the ability for you to upload your own. So if you wanted to maybe use a specific image for an ad or for something that you're going to be sharing out, listing or whatever, or a landing page, something like that, then it'll go into your library. Okay. So then you can go and add titles and tags to it in order to find it later. The image editor, that's going to be what it is, where you can upload an image, edit that image, or you can also create new designs or edit some of their designs that they have in their little center. So we'll take a look at that. The lead ads. So we'll be going through the Facebook lead ads a little bit, because I'm gonna be doing my next class in a couple of weeks, gonna be on that in more detail. So we're just gonna kind of take a higher level overview of it. And then, we'll be digging more into it next time, but because we won't have time to go into it fully here, as well as, we're gonna be talking more about it later. So then we'll have the property valuation plus. It's gonna be something that's been around, but they've made it, which the property valuation plus the headers. So these are landing pages that you can tie to stories that you post. So you could so we'll take a look at that in a little bit if you're not quite understanding what that means. But basically what it is, it's like the, which you guys wouldn't know either because you don't, but it's where it adds a call to action onto some other web page that you're sharing out. So say you're sharing out some article from, let's say RAS Media or something, and then it will then add a little header to it. So that's why it's the header. It's called a header. That'll have your name and a button for them to click to either get a home value for down payment assistance or home construction. They'll bring them to a landing page where you can generate leads from those. And what they added was a number of stories or blog posts or whatever that already have these headers on there. So you can just share those out. You don't need to go search for content. It's already in there in the library, or not library, but in that section for you to just either have auto post, or it will, or you could share it out, as you see fit. So we'll take a look at that if you don't quite understand what I'm saying there, because it's a little bit, we might have shown it before, but not the aspect of having all the stories in there for you to use. And then the Facebook bot, so that has changed as well. So you might have heard them talk about that about a year ago, I believe that came out. But before, you could only have like a buyer bot, a seller bot, or a home value bot. They would only be geared towards either a buyer, seller, or home value. And you couldn't have multiple bots on your page. So you either have to have just a buyer bot, or just a seller bot, or just a home value bot. So now what they did is they combined it together, so you can just select which you want. So if you wanted to have it where it asks them, are you a buyer, seller, or do you just want a home value? It will do that now. So we'll take a look at that as well. So before it was a little bit wonky because, maybe for like a buyer's agent, if you're only going to be targeting buyers, that would be fine, or like a listing agent or something. But if you're just trying to get, lead comes or somebody comes to your site, whether they're a buyer or a seller, this way it'll be able to work for either one of them. Okay. So let's, oh, and I wanted this video shared out, it just came out, somebody just posted it like yesterday, I guess. So it just talks a little bit about the lead ads. So I wanted to actually, hold on, I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it. So let me stop the share and then reshare, but make sure I have the sound on. And then let's go ahead and do that. All right, here we go.
Tell us what happened in the last couple of days as you're running these ads on Facebook. What's been your results? You blew me away when you told me this.
So I started running the ads. I didn't have my own listings. The only thing I had is sold. So I borrowed a couple from other agents in my office. got permission for them to run some ads, ran a couple of different ads. I had 3 property ads going. And then you showed me how I could also run the PDF ads where you can run a report. So I'm offering a free report on, what to ask when you're buying a home or new construction, purchasing a new construction home. So I've got a couple of those reports out there too. But just in the space of since last Wednesday, I've been making the calls back to the people that are, that click the Facebook. I get a name, phone number, and email. And for the most part, I'm getting good phone numbers, which is great. And I've talked to, I produced like 48, I'm up to 52 leads now as of today. And out of those 52, I have 2 appointments set and a third one that's a possible appointment. So I have a listing and buyer appointment for tomorrow morning, and I have a buyer appointment for Thursday. So
that's phenomenal.
All right, so that's just a little bit of something, somebody who used these Facebook lead ads. So, and that, like I said, that's gonna be something we're gonna go more into next time, but I just wanted to kind of show you the, that they do work. People are using them. They are getting phone numbers from them. They're being able to contact them, and they are setting up appointments with people. So these things do work. I know, it's usually a numbers game. So, I mean, 52 generated 2. So, I mean, that's, it's, if you did 1 or 2, it may not be those people that are willing to, make a deal with you, but, or use you as an agent or whatever. But, you get enough of them come through. I mean, and he talks about later, he uses a follow-up system and everything. He uses KV Core, but you can also use like the listings Lion Desk, where it'll create automatic follow-up plans. Because if he talks about in just a second, which we can share out this link to this presentation, which will have the video, but that 6 to 8 contacts in order to convert the person, which would, you could, obviously you're going to try to call them and initially touch base with them, but those additional follow-ups can come within a follow-up plan, which next month I'm going to be doing a class on that, where you can connect your listings to leads to the Lion Desk CRM, and then have those follow-up plans as well. That'll come through as a new lead comes through. It'll automatically add them to your CRM and then create a follow-up plan. So it's more stuff to come, but this is just a little bit of a testimonial about the systems, or that we'll be talking about briefly today, and then going more into next class. Okay, so let's get over to listings to leads here. And this is where we're gonna take a look at the library here first. We'll take a look at the image editor. We'll go to the ads, and then we'll take a look at those headers and the landing page section, as well as the bots. So we're gonna cover a bunch of stuff here, but it's gonna be pretty easy. So let's take a look. So here in the library, we do have what they have, basically images, videos, and documents. So these are going to be things that, except for these 2 images that I've uploaded, everything else in here is going to be already generated by listings to leads in here for you. So these are images that you can use for some of your lead ads, or because whatever else you might use them for on social media or emails or whatever. There's some like pre-made videos here. Let's see. I did forget which one I was watching. That was pretty good, but here.
The COVID-19 pandemic has made a lot of us feel anxious about buying or selling homes. But the reality is the technology exists to facilitate virtual home sales. Everything from mobile notaries to e-signing documents, virtual showings can happen online. Download this free guide to get the inside scoop on all the steps you can take and all the technology available to pull off a virtual home sale.
So that will tie to a landing page or an ad that you're running on social media, where they can download that report directly from your ad, or from our post, or whatever you're doing. But that was the virtual home sales. So within your documents, you have all these branded kind of reports, or informational documents. That one here is going to be about virtual home sales right here. So that would be able to tie right to that ad that you're running, a video, or you could have an image. There's a number of different images. Beth, Samantha, they can create you a custom image. You could make your own video, whatever it is. But these will be branded PDFs that will have your information. And I do have, let me close that and let me switch my screens here to, here we go. So here's like an example of, one of them, questions asked when selling a home. So here you see that it's going to be completely branded to you, whatever you have your photo and information that you have in your listings to lead settings. So all these will be generated right for you. Unfortunately, you can't edit them within listings to leads, but if you do have something, we could probably, either Samantha, if you want something customized, if you want to use and tweak some of this language, I'm sure they can work those up for you. Or, if you just edit a PDF, if it's something simple for you. Or here's one for buying new construction. So they're just going to be kind of some content, is it specific to here? It's going to be generalized content, but you're giving away something in order to generate that lead. So you have that content now, which I know that was something that a lot of people were lacking, is that you have, you can create these ads, but you don't have anything to give them, right? So now these here are available for you within listings to leads within this document area, which I'll show you later, well, it's gonna be more about the landing page next time, or you could actually, which I can show you really quickly when we're in there, because we're gonna be in the landing page section. But you can actually tie these directly to a landing page. So when you have an autoresponder, it'll respond back automatically to somebody from your ad. If you're doing like that virtual home sales, somebody clicks the ad, they go in, submit their information, then from listings to lead will automatically send a follow-up email to them you can customize the content, or it'll just have automatic content in there. And then you can select it to share this PDF directly to them. So you don't have to do really anything other than set up the landing page, the ad, and now it'll just continue to work. You can also set up, which we're kind of getting ahead of myself, but within there, one of the newer features is that you could have these auto posts. You can create some sort of, for if you want to have home valuation, saying, hey, the market's changing, find out how much your home's worth. You could have that word automatically sends out like every week for you, right up to your social media automatically. So you don't have to always post that yourself, but you can always be posting that through listings to leads. But this is some of the content that you can tie to it. So this is all new here, all those documents, these videos, all the images. And what you could do is if you want to upload your own, you'd be able to do that. Oh, and one last, your listings, all your listing photos will be in here too. So these are just my generic kind of listings that I've created for dummy listings, but anything that you've uploaded for those will be right in here as well. So all the images you had for that listing will be right in here that you can modify if you needed to. But you could just upload additional images right from your computer. You'd be able to edit these. So if you wanted to, crop it or flip it or rotate it or zoom in, zoom out. You can change the aspect ratio to square or something like that. You could add tags on here in order for you to find it better within the search. Really, that's it about the library. It's really just an area for you to hold things. And then there are these that are going to be in here for you to use. But you could download them directly if you wanted to, attach them to an email or something, but they'll also be available linked right through the account. So when you go to do a landing page, you can just select from a list of the different documents here available within the library in order to tie it right to that landing page. Okay. So let's move on to the image editor. So now that you have, where you could, you have your kind of library for your images. We have these that you can create. It's kind of like a very a stripped down version of like a Canva or something like that. But just, well, actually, I'm sorry. This one's a little bit. This one's really for the ads itself. So down below to click your guide. So there's going to be just a number of these different images for kind of related to the documents that are available for you to download within that library. But you can create anything you want from here. You could change this image. You can change the text if you wanted. You could add something. So if you wanted to maybe add like a logo, you'd be able to pull that right in. Oops, not that logo. Or maybe your photo, let's say. You want to brand it to yourself. You could just drop your photo in, maybe put some text of your name or something like that. And like, I know you could have all this stuff from Beth Samantha. I just wanted to show you that this stuff here is available within listings to leads now. So that it's very basic, but like, just so see how this is over the free. There's these layer buttons here, so you can just make that go down a layer to where it is now behind it. So there's just very simple controls on here. There's not much you can add. We do have these elements, so maybe if you want to add like stickers for just listed or open house, you can do that on your images as well. Price reduced, which I do have some of those examples here. You just had, let's see, edit, just like a square image, maybe you want price reduced, you could just throw one of those elements, the stickers right on here, Oops. That. It doesn't have white letters, so it is a little bit, it can get harder to see. But just so you know, this stuff is, whoops, click out of there, available in here for you to play around with, and you can check it out. There's a number of different, you put emojis on here if you want, so you could have some fun with your stuff if you wanted to. But you would just be able to upload your image, put in anything that you want, shapes, stickers, and emojis to customize these, okay? I mean, you can also, like if we wanted to create something with just like a background color, and then you could just add some text. You can do whatever you want in here. So you can play around with this stuff and try to make something out of it. But I mean, like I said, this is kind of like a stripped down version of like a Canva or one of those other tools. I mean, but it is here for you guys to play with, and it is here for you to use to create your own Facebook ad artwork. And then they do have the social media posts. So these have a number of different like templates in here. So like Happy Easter, and I know this stuff is all available with our marketing team as well. But so these things are in here. Some fun facts. 23 million American are planning to move as a result of remote work. If you wanted, you could add a different element on there. Like these are just pre-made things. So maybe you wanted to put like an emoji on here or something, or whatever it is. You can play around with the stuff, but there are some pre-made templates in here as well that you can take a look at. We're not going to go through all of them, but there's some memes here, questions. So just different little questions. It's just pre-made little artwork that you can share out, maybe to create a conversation on your Facebook page. Okay, so that is some of these. Here's some real estate ones. So you can take a look at these things and see if you like any of them, or you can customize them, change the text, move stuff around. So you do have the ability to edit these as well. So you can take a look at these and see if there's anything that you like in here. There are the listing templates as well, but you just have to upload your images. So if we go to images, it's not going to pull in those images from your listings, I do not believe. That's the only downside. So it's not pulling in those images, so you'd have to edit these directly. So just so you know, but there are those kind of templates here for listings as well. And then if you had your created designs, you'd be able to go here and edit them. So you can come back, and if you didn't like something, you can come back and fix it if you want it. Okay. And then resave it. You can, and then when you do save it, you are able to create a title. Oops. So say maybe you put coming soon instead of coming soon, you could change that, as well as you add these tags. So these tags, like I mentioned with the library, the tags are going to be for you to search them at a later date. So if we go back here to our, let's go, you search your templates and tags, but I believe this is going to be more for the, from when you're starting. If you have, once you start to get, you know, a large group of these that you're making, you'd be able to search by the something like coming soon. Oop, did I put soon or soon? So there we go. Or you're going to have, based off of your different tags, it's going to have them right in here as well. So listed right here. Okay. So I mean, it's pretty basic here, but it does, you know, does give you some pre-generated content that you can play with if you wanted, and it does give you some, you know, the ability to customize some things. It's not, you know, like as advanced as some other tools, but you know, just so you know, you do have the ability in here now to do some of this stuff. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the Facebook ads, and like I said, we're not going to, how to say this, go too deep into this. So I should have disconnected this. Basically what you're going to do from here is, let me take a look at this if I can disconnect here. So I'm gonna, but I think I did this earlier and it just automatically connects. Let me see. Is Richard. So basically you're gonna have to connect your account. So you'll go through and then I think I already have it selected. So it's, I'm not gonna have to go through all the steps, but you're gonna go ahead and select the Facebook page you wanna tie it to. I just have my example page that I connected it to, but you would select from your pages. So because some people might have multiple pages, so you'll be able to connect to either one or more of those pages that you want to share your content to when you're creating these ads, okay? So within here, you're able to create listing ads. So you'd be able to select from your available listings and then create. So this would be like a lead. So this is what we're going to be getting into more in the next class, but there's the lead ads versus the traffic ads. And we'll touch on that briefly here. The lead ads are going to be the ads that they're talking about in that video where they generated the phone numbers, because the listings to leads, the actual landing pages themselves and the ones, they get a lot of the emails, but they don't get, a lot of people don't, even if you have the required email or phone number, I'm sorry, you know, added to your landing pages that you're sharing out, still people tend not to put those emails or phone numbers when they don't have to. But with the Facebook, since it automatically pulls in their, because most people, or a lot of people anyways, especially if you have like two-step verification or whatever, if you have on your Facebook account, you have a phone number associated with that account. So when you do the lead ads, that's going to use a Facebook's own pre-populated form. So that's going to have the person's phone number and email that is going to be in there tied to that Facebook page or that account. And a lot of times the phone numbers are better on those than they are the emails, because sometimes people created their Facebook page, you know, 10 years ago or whatever, and they're using an email that they don't really use as often, where the phone numbers to get those, you know, codes sent to them or if they lost their password or whatever, they have that, you know, current cell phone number in those in their account, tied to their account in a lot of cases. So as that guy said in the video, you know, a lot of the numbers were good. Because I mean, you're obviously going to get, you know, people that put in fake stuff, but with these, it automatically fills it with their information. They can go and override it, but in a lot of cases, you know, people will just, you know, let it autofill, go on to the next step and move on. Where the traffic, that's going to be where you actually send them to the listings to lead landing page or listing website, which do generate leads, but they just might not be, you just don't get the same number of phone numbers, okay? So we're going to be going more into those and then how to set that up, which we're not going to set up the lead ad, but I'll show you where that comes into play. So this is going to be an ad based off of my listing. So here, is this a fake listing? So it's going to automatically pull in the content. It's going to create a name for the ad. It's going to automatically select that special housing category, so you don't have to remember to do that yourself. It's going to pull in the page that you you've connected your Facebook to. And then also, I don't have an Instagram associated with this example page, but you'd select from if you do have an Instagram page, you'd be able to select that. Here is the text that's going to show up over within your ad that you can customize. It's automatically going to pull in some text just by default that it kind of auto does for you. But if you wanted to update that, you'd be able to go ahead and change that as you see fit. You'd be able to replace this image if you want to change the media. Your headline, so this is going to be this line right here. You'd be able to update if you want. And then this subline, this little description right here will be there that you could change. But basically what it's doing is it's pulling in all the stuff that you would have to fill in automatically on your own in a lot of cases, and select these different options. It's going to basically kind of choose things for you and make it very easy for you to create this advertisement. So now it's going to go to that, you can choose, so it's got your link, go to that specific property page. And then this is that lead form I was talking about. So this is what we're going to be talking about more in the next class, but you'd have to, view the terms, accept the terms. Basically, it's nothing crazy terms. How much is a Facebook lead ad? Sorry, we got a chat here. It's going to be there. It's going to be how much you want to spend. So you can do as little as $1 per day, which, you're not going to get necessarily the same numbers of results that you would spending more, but that's about where it starts. So $1 per day would be the minimum spend. And then, you can go up to unlimited from there. Usually between $5 to $10 a day is where people, I've heard where companies that do work with, thousands of agents doing this for them, they find between like $6 to $7 per day is where they get the most kind of bang for their buck, so to speak. So, right around, between that $5 to $10 a day would be where you are. I mean, obviously, if you want to just saturate it and get it out to a lot of people, you can spend more. But at least as long as you're spending that, you're going to be okay. That $1 per day, it just might not get to enough of those people to really generate enough leads for you, I guess. But so what we're going to be doing in the next class is going through this instant form, which is basically it'll autofill that data for whoever wants to get the information. So if I click on the ad, it's going to go and put my name, email, phone number automatically in there. But what's nice about these is you can create additional questions. So maybe you wanted to put in, are you working with an agent? Are you looking to buy or sell? Or in this amount of, right now, 1 month, 2 to 3 months, whatever it is, you can custom make questions and put it in there, which in a lot of cases, that'll get you a higher quality lead. Because if you're just with that autofill, it does allow people to really simply get that information. So if you put a little bit of a barrier in there to where they just don't have to hit the button to boom, get it. Then if they have to answer a question, which some people might not like to add that additional barrier in there, because you want to get the more quantity instead of quality. But if you want to get the quality, it's a good practice to kind of put something in there to slow them down a little bit. Because then if they're really interested, then they're going to continue on. But if it's just like, they're just trying to get the information and move on, they don't really care about the property and they're to work with you or whatever, then, they might just get that information really quick, move on. But if they really want it, then they will answer the question. But that's up to you. But just so you know, we'll get more into that later. You can use custom audiences. So if you do have custom audiences in your account, which we can talk about in the next class, where you can target basically custom audiences are going to be people that have previously visited your website. So if we see down here, we use the pixel code. So we can target people who've been to your different listings to lead pages before, especially if you're doing a lot of ads, then that might be a good group of people to target. If you have pixel on your Facebook page, on your website, you can target those people who have been to your website before. You can upload your own database from maybe your CRM. Or in LionDesk, you can actually create a custom audience right from your CRM. So if you have, you know, you can or without, you know, if you just have a database, you can export that out, import it into Facebook, and it just uses, you know, emails, phone numbers, just their names, their location, different things, identifiers in order to find out who they are. So then say you have your own database and you want to run an ad targeting just the people that you already know, you can do that as well by selecting from one of your custom audiences. Lookalike audiences, you shouldn't be using those if you are doing a housing category. Those aren't allowed any longer. So just so you know, you can get your ad not approved if you do lookalike audiences, because they, you know, with all the fair housing and everything, they think that, you know, if you have a certain group of people and you create a lookalike like them and they're a certain group of people, then you're going to exclude other people that don't look like them or whatever the case may be. So Facebook did eliminate that. So, but I guess because you can create other ads in here, you don't have to create ones that fit the special housing category terms. So I guess maybe that's why. But ultimately, if you're doing like a listing ad or something that you're trying to get real estate business, then do not try to use a lookalike audience. And probably most of you don't even know what a lookalike audience is. But just so you know, they're not allowed any longer. Target. So this is where you can target who you're going to target. People who live or recently in this location, or people who just live in this location might be a better option. Or, you know, you might have people who work. So you might want, so either of these two would be the ones that I would select, because maybe you have people who are working in this area, who are from the out area. So you probably want to choose this one, who've recently been in the location too. But that's up to you. You might just want to target, depending on what you're doing, you might just want to target people who live in this location. But in most cases, you're not going to be targeting people who travel in the location, traveling, because that could be, you know, we have that I-5 going through here, and that could be a lot of people that are coming through this area, picking up, you know, when they, well, I guess Magic Mountain's not around right now, but you know what I mean? You might be visiting some sort of spot around here where, you know, basically that could be a waste of your money. Then you can put in the city or area. You have to do at least 15 miles. That's part of the same thing with this lookalike audience, that same update, where you can't use those. They made it where you can't go under 15 miles around an area. This optional interests, I would leave alone. Facebook already knows that this is going to be a housing ad. And then with like these pixels and stuff like that, they know where people are going around the web. And there's going to be changes with all this because Apple is updating their terms to where, you know, which I don't know if you guys already saw some of that stuff, where you can hide all of your kind of tracking information from Facebook. So this is going to be affected a bit by that with the iOS 14 update. But just so you know, fortunately for you, a lot of people don't care about it. But there's people like me who've already turned it off, you know. But so you're not going to get it to me really anymore. But there's going to be lots and lots of other people that will not go through their phone and change those settings in order to, you know, block Facebook from tracking them. Which eventually it's probably going to ask you, but either way. But basically, it knows what you're doing online based off of its tracking through the pixels and through what you're looking at on other sites on Facebook, you know, what other pages you're looking at, what other content you're interacting with. So it's probably going to know better, but you can't put like the Zillow, Trulia, those kind of things in there, but that might just limit you down because not everybody uses those types of things. So you might be, in some ways it's going to help, in other ways it might hurt. Okay. And then you do the placement. So it does, and then your budget and time. So I know I talked a bit throughout this, but in general, this is going to be a pretty simple process just to go through here. You know, I explained it all, so now you have a sense of what it is, but now that you know, you'll just be able to go through. You might not want to change that at all. A lot of this stuff you might just leave alone. You just set your budget, select the form that you're going to use, and then the area you're going to target, and then, you know, your budget. So you can do a daily or lifetime budget. Facebook would recommend you do a lifetime budget versus a daily, just by me, you know, talking with some of their marketing people over there. Just because their thoughts on it is like the daily budget, it's going to spend that money regardless. So if it's just starting out and figuring out who's going to be in your audience that throughout, you know, like I said, with the pixels and who's clicking on these different items through different pages, it needs to kind of find those people. So it might not. So what usually they do with the lifetime budget is they're going to ramp up your ad spend, and not necessarily, it's going to cost you less to reach more people initially, in order to get that, like, kind of jump on your ad, in order to start to generate some interest with it. Where your daily budget, it might not, it's going to have to spend as little as, you know, if you're only spending $1, it's only going to spend that $1. But if you did $10 across, you know, 10 days, it might spend $3 in the first day to get it out, but ultimately it's going to go track better throughout that same $10 spend for those 10 days than you do for $10 per day for 10 days, if that makes sense, because it's going to adjust your ad spend based on when people are online, who's engaging with your post, all those types of things. So you're going to get in most cases, better result if you do a lifetime budget. You know, say if it's 5 days for $10 versus $2 per day, you're going to see a better result. So just keep that in mind. And then that's really it. Then you publish your ad and it's going out. So you just kind of really more or less to remember is you just set your location where, you know, if you want people living or, you know, or recently been in location, and then their budget and start date. So I know there's a lot more in here, a lot less than it would be if you were actually running this through Facebook. But most of it is pretty self-explanatory. Name, where you want to send it to, the text that you want to have in here, your headline, your description, which is going to be right here. This you can't change. That's just going to be linked to your actual your listing page. You can change, you know, what you want to say, but otherwise, you know, you're just going to set the location and your spend and time you want it. So it makes it very simple to use. But we're going to, like I said, go a lot more into the instant form in the next class, as well as the landing pages and then the social content ads. So we're going to go more into that. So the landing pages you can either create, so you can select from, you know, some of your different landing pages that you have, or you, so we're going to be going through that. So I don't want to get deep into that right now. And then you also have all these different social content ads that you can create as well for seller leads and for buyer leads. So all of this stuff is new. So I know that the Facebook, the ad system has been in here for several months now, but all of this stuff is going to be new. Okay, so you don't have to create that content. It's already there in your library. And now you can create ads for first-time home buyer guides, home maintenance checklist, value increase report, pandemic buying and selling, all these different topics that are going to be already available in here for you to use. So like that's going to be in the next class. So if you want to learn more about that stuff, we're going to be going through that in the next one. But we're going to continue on with some of the new things. So now we're going to talk about, it's going to be in landing pages. It's going to be, because it's going to be tied to one of your landing pages here. So we have these 3 that are starred, free home values, down payment assistant, and new construction. So these are going to be 3 pre-generated that everybody already has in their listings to leads account right now. Okay. So let's take a look at maybe new construction. So, and we're going to be going into how to edit these in the next class. excuse me. So maybe if you don't necessarily like the home in here or well, this colors is at least for, you know, you don't want to change the background colors, change the text, all that stuff. We're going to be talking about that later in the next class. But I wanted to show you here in the advanced options, you do have, which we're going to talk about this stuff here in the next class too, autoresponder. That's where I was saying that you can automatically tie those reports right to, so it was this new construction. So you'd be able to just select the new construction one, wherever that is, right here, buying a new construction home. Boom, that's going to be able to, that will automatically be attached to your autoresponder. Okay, so we're going to go more in that later. The auto posting, this is where, like I mentioned, where you can turn that on and set it where it'll automatically post this new home construction landing page to your Facebook or to whatever accounts you have attached once a week, or I believe you should, I saw it's somewhere where you could change that to once a month. But I think that's going to be in another landing page, because it's not showing it here right now. And if we look in the support, it doesn't talk about that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, I think that's for your home valuation. If I remember correctly, which we're going to talk about that in the next class. So we won't get into that right now. That's going to be on the landing pages, but just so you know, because they have the follow-up on this free home valuation, where you can set it to where if somebody submits the free home valuation form, then every week, 2 weeks, or a month, it'll automatically follow up them with a new valuation, you know, with what's been going on in their market, similar to those e-property reports and like the home bot. So this will just do it through listings to leads. Okay, but we'll get that into that next time. But this, where is it at? New construction header here. So this is, like I said, it's been around for a little bit, so it doesn't have the new on it, but what's new is all of these here. So these are all stories or content that already have your header added to it. So you could come here and add one from scratch. So let me just use like this one from the other day, market report, buyers dive in. If you paste in like a URL from a story that you might you want to share out to your people on social media, here is like a URL that you can just copy, fetch. It's going to go ahead, pull in the photo, pull in that information. It's not perfect, so this is like code M dash. That's like a extra wide dash. There's like dash, and then there's an N dash. And then there's an M dash, which I don't remember how to do it on my computer here right now, but it's just like a longer dash. But that's what that was. But maybe you don't even want RIS media in there. We'll get rid of that. So here's what some of the stuff is. There's a little bit of code in here for apostrophe S. So it's not 100% perfect, but you can see, but let's do this. Let's save, do not post. Oops. We'll do, you have to put in a URL here. So you can put that, make that anything you want. I'm just going to copy what they had on there and put it in. So now we have that. Where did that go? Goes at the bottom here. And then if we want to take a look at this now. Oops, what did I do? Sorry. I'm going to go to URL was copied, so let me go to it. I made a mistake in there somewhere. Whoops. Now I'm lost. Okay, there we go. Let me try to go to this one here. Let me just open this one up. One that they made here. So what it's going to do is it'll put this little header right here. So this is how to buy a home with low income. So this is just an example of something that was published, some story, where basically it adds this header on top that when somebody clicks on it, it brings it over to the landing page for you to generate a lead. So basically what's new about this is all of these stories. So like that, so you can use any of these here that are automatically will have that header on it for new construction. that you can share out on your social media right now. So you could just, if you have, you could push this if you have your Facebook already connected. So you should be able to post, so you can share it right from here. Or there, I believe, let's see. So push post. So connect to your account. So if you have it connected, you can just push it right from here. So if you use the little wand tool, it's going to go ahead and push it right to your connected social media account. Or you can click this button and share it directly, or this button will just view it like we were looking at it right here. Okay. And then these will go, like I said, to those landing pages like this. All right. And then you do have the ability, this one's for the new home construction. Let me go back here, but you could have one for the down payment assistance as well as the home value. So those buttons will change that are going to be at the top to be, and then send them to a different landing page. Okay. So those are, so like I said, it's basically what's new is that you don't have to find some story, because look at, I pasted a link in there and it didn't go correctly, but they do have all of these. So if you don't remember how to get there, from the landing page tab, select one of these first three, depending on which page you want to, which leads you want to generate for home value, for down payment assistance, or new construction. So if you go to the free home value here, you just go to advanced options, and then you have your header. So it's going to change home value header, new construction header, or what is that? Down payment assistance header. So it will go ahead and put that header onto, you could customize the page to whatever, put in a URL there, or you can use one of these pages that they already have generated for you. And now you can just share this out right into your social media right now without you having to do anything else other than click on share to Facebook or whatever. Okay. And then we'll be going through a little bit more on these landing pages on the next class, or not a bit more on the landing pages in the next one, but just so you know, they do have these headers that you can use in order to send people to these landing pages right from your social media account. All right. And now finally, we got what, 10 minutes left. So that should be plenty to talk about the bot. So what is new about the bot? Because I'm sure you've heard about it before. So what they have added now is when you go to add a bot. So this too, you'd have to connect to your Facebook account. Once that's connected, you're connected and you don't have to do it again. But what changed was before you would only be able to do, you could only do a listing bot, or you could do a home. So basically you do a bot that's tied to your listing. So you can still only do a listing bot or one of these other three. But the difference is you could do all three of these together now. So you could have a home valuation question, a buyer and a seller question. Or let me show you here really fast. Let me go over here and skip over to more the end. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in. So what you could do is, like I said, you could check mark these different bots. You can edit any of this material if you want as well, but we're just going to leave that alone. And then you just select your page. Okay, and then here's an example of the bot. So once you have this on your page, if anybody tries to message you, and you could also say you want to do a Facebook ad that uses, instead of them downloading something, they just message you, which I don't think you could do from listings to leads, but you'd be able to do it from your Facebook account itself. So you could do like messenger ads where it just go to your messenger. So people could just basically, instead of them calling you or going to like a website page or something like that, it'll go bringing them to where they just chat with you. So this would be something that you could send them to, or it automatically chat with them to kind of automate that process. I see Eddie here. How is using a different platform different than doing a paid radius? So the question was, how is this different than doing like a paid radius ad with Facebook? It's no different. It is just it pulls in the content for you without you having to go in and fill everything in Facebook. Facebook, you would have to go through a number, there's 3 steps. You'd have to pick what type of ad you want. You'd have to set now, you know, there's just a lot more steps when you go through the Facebook process, where this is going to be a simplified process that cuts out, that automatically does some things for you, so you don't have to think about it. That's usually the same in each ad that you're going to do. So but basically, yeah, it's the same thing. It's just doing it in a different way. It's trying to simplify it for you. And then it already has your listings there for you to select from. So you don't have to, you know, go in and pull all that listing information into your Facebook ad. It'll just pull it in and right through listings to leads. But for this bot here, so we can see that it'll say, it'll get started, and then it'll ask you, do you want a home valuation? Am I a buyer? Am I a seller? Am I a buyer? Or you want to talk to a human? Where before it would only do one of those. So it was kind of, like I said, wonky, where you could only target, you know, if somebody came, if your bot that you used on your page was a seller bot, but a buyer came, it'd be asking them all the wrong questions and it wouldn't apply to them. So it was like, it just didn't really fit. I mean, if you wanted to run it for one ad, where it was like a buyer ad or like a home valuation ad, it'd be perfect. But then that would be the one bot you could have on your whole page. So if you weren't running an ad, you'd still only have that one option. So that's where this update really makes it a lot more useful now, because now whatever they're looking for, and in this case, I did it with I'm a seller. So it kind of goes through and kind of asks them some questions. You know, great. So I said, I'm a seller, great, certainly here to help you sell your home. At any time you can talk to human, blah, 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 blah. And then it'll ask, so you don't see them here, but just like how it has over here, get home valuation, I'm a seller, I'm a buyer. It asks, are you looking to sell, you know, a condo, townhome, you know, whatever, single family home. I selected single family. Then it'll say how many bedrooms, 3, 2, how you looking, you know, when you're looking to sell, you know, what's the most important part. So it will give me some options that I select from, and then the only one that it asked, or you fill it in, is what do you think your property is worth? I put 750, and then thanks for your responses. I'll contact you as soon as you know as possible. Blah blah blah. And then it'll go through what's your email address and stuff like that in order to generate that. So then once you enter it, then you will receive a email with all that information, as well as you should see this chat log inside your messenger. So inside Facebook, you'll have this whole log of this chat, as well as soon as they submit their information, you will get that sent to you in an email. So it's a way for you to generate leads right from your Facebook page. So if somebody lands on your page, they go through, it's going to prompt them to basically get started and ask for if they're home valuation and all this stuff. So today's my first time I've heard the term of a bot. Where can I get more information about the benefits of using it, techniques for using it? I can share some information with you. Basically, it's just, what's the benefit? The benefit is an automated tool. So you don't have to, so if you're out and about working with your 8 clients or whatever, and somebody goes to this page, to your Facebook page, and wants to chat with you, this will kind of automate that in order to get them to get their information, to pretty much ask them some questions, about what they want, what they're going to do, what their plans are, and then ultimately to get that contact information. At any time you can come in and jump in, and if you respond, it will automatically disconnect the bot. So if you see them starting to chat and you are available and free and you want to chat with them, and what's another thing is, like, it'll prompt, because on your page it'll pop up the messenger and be like, hey, get started. And then it'll give that person the ability, it'll kind of prompt them to chat with you, where it wouldn't do that if you don't have the bot. So it's a kind of an engagement technique, where it'll kind of pop up and try to get them to chat. If not, they can close it. But otherwise, if they do, it starts that conversation in order to ultimately get that contact information from them. Thank you, Richard, bringing all this amazing stuff. Just in practice before I can use it. Yeah, I mean, this is a number of different things in this one, but these are just some of the new stuff. And I didn't go deep into a lot of it today, but so, I mean, I know I'm in the next class going to be focused more on the landing pages and then the, you know, the Facebook lead ads. But, you know, I'm always available to help you guys with this stuff too. So, I mean, it's not that, I understand it might be hard to understand right now, but I mean, a lot of it's not too difficult. That's some of the advantages of the listings elite is that they make it pretty simple. Because as long as once you connect your, I have so many tabs open here. Sorry, I'm gonna just delete some of this stuff because I'm getting confused. But so basically here, once you go to bot, you have to go and basically approve your Facebook page, you know, accept the terms and say like, yes, I want them to be able to, you know, access my page, because that's going to allow that bot to go on. Once you do that, it's really just naming it, selecting your page, which I already have one on there. You can only have one bot per page. That's why this is grayed out. And then you just select what is it for, basically. And then you can adjust this text if you want, but I mean, it's not bad. And then just add bot, and it's going to go ahead and add it right to your page. We can take a look at that really fast, I guess. Let's see here. Let me pull up the page and I'll bring it over here. Give me a second. Facebook. Oops. Sorry. I have too much stuff going on here. Trying to go to my ads manager, but I don't want that. Let's see, to my RE example page. All right. No, I'm in it as myself, so it's not giving me that option. But do it as a visitor. Here we go. So as we see here, oh, you know what? I've already went through this myself, but let me see. But basically, it's going to be like this bot right here that'll pop up, and it's answering here. Get home valuation. Here we go, and it's going ahead on its own and chatting with me. And see, I'm getting the notifications right on my phone as it's going on. So it's going to engage me, get me to put in that information, and then I'm getting those messages right to my phone. So I could go in and jump in anytime and then conversate with them, and that'll stop the bot. But otherwise, it'll go through until it gets to the stages of getting their contact.
12 o'clock.
Okay, but yeah, so some of it's a little bit harder than the other stuff, but ultimately it's not too bad. Like library, that's just the repository for your items, which you can go look around in here. The image editor, where you can kind of customize some things. It is limited, but just so you know, you have it. The Facebook ads, join me on, where did my calendar go? On the, the 23rd. That's going to be where we go into this in more detail and talk about the different, the landing pages themselves, how to create those, and then how to run the ads either to the landing page, which I'm going to probably advise you to run the lead forms rather than the landing page for the ad itself. But those landing pages, you can also share out without doing an ad, because if you're just only those lead forms are going to be for advertisements. So if you just want to share out some landing pages to your Facebook page without having to pay for it, you're going to need to just use the landing pages. So we're going to go through that. So you don't have to not all of this is geared around paying for it. So the landing pages itself is something that you can share out, create. There's a number of those different templates you see we looked at within the library that have some of those different documents for first-time home buyers, virtual selling and buying, questions you might have, all these different things, downsizing, upsizing, all these different new construction. that are going to be already in there for you to just kind of quickly create a landing page that you can share out to generate leads on your pages or to your personal or business profiles. So we'll be going through that more. And then the bot, if you have any questions about the bot, it's pretty simple to set up. Once you connect your account, you just select those options and then add it to your page, and then it's going to start working for you. But if you have any questions about it, you know, I'm always here for you guys. And remember, the 23rd will be the one on these landing pages. We'll go more into it. And then I don't have the date yet, but we'll be going, trying to get you guys to do that automatic follow-up. So once you have these leads coming in, whether you're doing it from the lead ads or just your listings that you're sharing out, or the ads that we're running for you guys on your listings, or for the landing pages that you're creating, all of those leads from all these different sources can come into one CRM, and then we can activate those follow-up campaigns on them in order to do automated follow-up. And then I'm going to be scheduling also for RPR is going through a whole new update in about 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to be launching that. So next month I'll be going through some of the new stuff on RPR as well. So some things to look forward to in the future. And if you guys have any questions about this stuff, just always, you know, let me know.